So today we'll talk about locks. So these are the type of locks whenever you are going to print anything. Okay, so usually you might have seen system prop. Print something will be there, right? In Java, we have used if you're going to print something, what we will use system out printle. We will use those things. But in Sailpoint, we won't use those command. We'll use Lockybug, Locker or LockInfo. So these are the things we will use. If you want to print everything in that scenario, you can use LockAll. If you are going to more fine-grained diagnostic information or something in that scenario, you can use LockTrace. As a developer, I'll prefer to use Locker always because I'm going to deal with the error. What is the error? So, based on that, I'll change the code. So usually I'll prefer to use Locker. So the same way, you can use LockInfo Lockybug. So we'll be having one circle inside that everything will be there. So these are the things you can use: LockAll, LockTrace, Lockybug, LockInfo Locker. Usually, I'll use this Locker most often. So one thing, these are the type. Let me make a note. Better, I'll type only. Error. Debug. Trace. All. The moment you are going to mention LockAll, it will print everything related to error. Warn, debug, trace, something like that. If you are going to mention like Locker, it will print only error-related information. If you are going to mention LockWarn, it will print only those information related to that. So something like that. So no one is going to use LockAll because it's going to keep on print some values. So usually I'll use Locker. I need to find something. So these are the type in Sailpoint we will use. Whenever you are going to start any services, application server, in that scenario, you might have noticed under Apache Tomcat folder there will be folder called locks inside that we have these mini folders. Has anyone seen these files already? These are the lock files. So, apart from the Sailpoint lock file, everything is custom. I mean default one like Tomcat standard out, standard error, Catalina file. A number of lock files is there. So, based on your requirement you can check. But the moment you are going to working in Sailpoint, you are going to create any custom rule, custom workflow, or that task is getting failed, or you have started the services, but you are not able to access Sailpoint. So in that scenario, what you can do? You could open this Tomcat 8 standard out file, always standard out, not standard error. Open this file. Everything will be mentioned over here. All locks will be there, okay. But if you are going to look something like this, will you get understand nothing? So what you have to do, try to find this one. So always, timestamp will be there, and after that, whether you have mentioned error or warn, based on that, it will print something. Here the name will be there. Logger name will be there. Sailpoint Tulksmal. Logger name will be there. I'll show the example first. I'll give how we can update, how we can create. After that, we'll try to print something. Okay, so whenever you have any issue related to locks, open this Tomcat standard out file. Okay, but now you want to create some custom file for Sailpoint in that scenario. First, I'll quickly cover that here. Sailpoint file is there. So this is the custom file which I've created because in the Tomcat standard each and everything will be printed. So that is the reason. Quickly let me open log4j file, and I'll show how we can create this custom file. What are the changes we have to make? So this is the custom file which I've created, because the reason is I don't want to check the standard out file, because whenever I'm going to start any services, stop any services, all the background activity logs will be printed. It's a more kind like that, but I want to print only related to rules and workflows, whatever I'm going to perform. So that is the reason I have created this custom file. So first let's talk about how we can create custom file. So whatever logs related information you are going to deal with, always go to log4j property file, so where it will be mentioned. Go to Web Apps Identity IQ WebINF. Go to classes. Here we'll be having IQ property file, log4j property file. Everything will be there, okay. Don't worry about this logging. Log4j property file. So these are the default file. No need to worry about these things. So this is related to plugin global null. So if you want to create any custom file in that scenario, you have to use this one. The ruling, the default appender is there, right? You have to implement this lines I have captured from my project only initially. So whenever you need to create any custom file, you have to introduce this ruling. Appender. I won't go briefly. If you want to create any custom file, something like that, you have to introduce one ruling file you have to mention as IQR file. Which path the file will be stored. So always I'll try to store the Sailpoint log file inside the Tomcat folder. Okay, so it's all. The logs will be printed over here. So that is the reason here, Tomcat logs, all file will be here. That is the reason I have a habit to create custom file inside this folder only, so you can mention the path name as well. Okay, the pattern layout here, the important one. So whenever the file size is going to increase, like 51 megabytes, 2 megabytes, it should create another file. So in that scenario, you can use this commands like append rolling policy size if it is 10 megabytes, and it will create another file. The next file, so you can utilize these things. So this is how you can create the custom file. Custom file whenever you are going to create. It's not like that. You have to make some changes in the existing one. Here also, we have a rolling file, but I don't want to touch anything. Default, it comes with the default. So what I'll do, I'll try to replicate the new one. So the same rolling file is there. Okay, the same file name, same layout. I won't make any changes on the log files. It will create a mess, so I'll prefer to create new one. I'll make them as I'll use this as command to comment out. Okay, it won't be work. So in that scenario, I'll create a new one. The one thing. So this is how you are going to create some custom file. No need to create folder or any file related to that the moment you are going to mention the file. Whenever your application services is going to restart, so the file will be created automatically. Okay, so you can use the same settings. The second one,